What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. I had to do impromptu live stream off of the news and what's going on. You see the title. Brian Flores, former head coach for the Miami Dolphins, is suing the league for alleged racism in hiring practices. And I never understood as a youth what it meant when things come full circle. Now I get that now, because just a year ago, and Facebook reminded me today, how they do 1 year ago, they showed me a clip that I had talking about Eric Bieniemy and the Rooney Rule, and this same thing that Brian Flores is suing the league for, and how basically the Rooney Rule is garbage. It's trash. They need to get rid of it. It has been a problem since they put it in because it serves no purpose. That's why I made my post. It's an empty gesture is what it is. Just like in racism on the back of helmets, Black Lives Matter on the court or on the field, all of these social justice stuff that the players in the bubble had on the back of their jerseys for the NBA, it means absolutely nothing. Because change doesn't come by you put some words on the damn field. It does not come. This is how change comes. Well, somebody like Brian Flores, who has sacrificed his career, he's like radioactive waste now. They're not going to touch him now. Only thing they want Brian Flores to do now is to go away. They want this to go away. This is something that's going to reverberate throughout all of sports. If I'm the NBA, NHL, MLB, WNBA, whoever, I'm getting on the line and I'm telling the NFL, you need to squash this because this affects me as well. Because it's not just the NFL that this happens in. This happens in every sport. Every single sport. Not only sport, let's take it beyond sports. Let's just take it into the professional realm. It happens there. This same thing. And if you think it doesn't happen, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. See, I got a comment already who this is. Oh, Kano Loco. Hey, I'm gonna give you a call, bro. We gotta chop it up because I haven't been into my boxing stuff, but I know you the man. I gotta get back into it. Want to do a show with you. We gotta link up, man. I gotta get out there. I got time now. So I holla at Kano Loco Sports for your boxing news. Hey, good channel, man. He just had my brother Kent Cruz on there. I gotta call Kent. Kent, I ain't talked to Kent in a minute now, so I know he was getting back in the ring. So I wanted to talk to him, maybe do a show with him, see how he doing. I haven't talked to him in a while. That's my brother right there. But yeah, man, we're gonna get into this article, man. We're gonna break down Brian Flores, and now not only that, other coaches are jumping on the lawsuit now. Hugh Jackson said that they have proof that the Browns paid him to lose in 2016. The rabbit hole is getting ready to go deep, people. But man, we're gonna get into this. Let me see. Share the screen, and we're about to talk about it. So, as you see, article by ESPN. I always want to give credit to the writer, Marcel Luis Jaquez. Hope I said that right, for ESPN. And he says, Brian Flores sues NFL 3 teams as former Miami Dolphins coach alleges racism in hiring practices. Oh, and before we get into that, just know that, and what's hilarious about this, before we get into that, what's hilarious about this is Bill Belichick broke the dam. I think that, and it was against the Giants. I think that is just, you couldn't write a better script than that. You take this to Hollywood, and they're going to be like, yo, no one's going to believe this story. Bill Belichick has a phobia of technology, and he hates using technology. So he's texting Brian, thinking he's texting Brian Dable, not Flores, to congratulate Flores on getting the New York Giants job. But it was Dable. So in the text messages, you can go see them. They're on Twitter. Oh, they were everywhere now. He was like, you meant me or Brian Dable? Because I haven't interviewed yet, coach. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I heard that they're giving it to Dable. Sorry about that. And so I'm pretty sure he went on his interview. He asked the questions he needed to ask, and he started compiling the evidence. Now he's taking it to the courts, and this thing, the top is being blown off of this now, dude. So let's go back here. No, not full screen layout. This is what I want. There we go. So, but before we get into that, while I read this, so hold on just a second for me. See, let me get some of these, share this to a few of my peoples. So let's see. Here we go. Real deal. There we go. FIMP, do all daily. There we go. Do all city football. Forever Jags. On your mouth. Sac City. All right. All right. Now, moving forward. So Brian Flores has sued the NFL and 3 teams: the Dolphins, Broncos, and Giants. Oh man, and what he said about the Broncos is hilarious. The Broncos fans are snitching. I'm just like, Broncos faithful. Your fans, they letting the cat out of the bag, and they're backing up everything Flores said about Elway. He's alleging discrimination regarding his interview process with Denver and New York, and his firing last month by Miami. The 58-page lawsuit was filed in Manhattan federal court Tuesday and seeks class action status. Flores alleged that the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross attempted to incentivize him to tank or purposely lose games shortly after he was hired in 2019, with Ross allegedly offering Flores $100,000 for every loss that season. Flores says that as the team won games late in the season, Dolphins general manager Chris Greer told him Ross was mad that the on-field success was compromising the team's draft position. Are you serious? Stuff like this, you always hear about stuff like this, and people always talk about sports being rigged and things like that. I never really paid attention to stuff like that unless I really saw something. I was like, okay, I can kind of see certain situations, but this right here, everyone who's a conspiracy theorist about sports, how it's ran, this right here, they're going to point to this. They're like, well, they were paying coaches to lose games. It's rigged. I can't argue with the rigged crowd anymore.
Got started with a key.
Oh, man. What is that?
See? It's on.
Doggone sound. I may remember not to share the audio next time. That's all good. So Flores alleged, okay, all right, I already said that. Additionally, Flores alleges that Ross pressured him into recruiting a prominent quarterback at the end of the 2019 season, which the coach refused, so not to violate the NFL's tampering rule. Ross then allegedly invited Flores onto a yacht for lunch in winter of 2020, where he informed him that the quarterback was conveniently arriving at the marina for an impromptu meeting. Flores refused the meeting and left the yacht. Afterward, Flores alleged he was treated with disdain and held out as someone who was non-compliant and difficult to work with. You were having him do something illegal. Now, in Stephen Ross' defense, you will have coaches who are going to play ball with stuff like this because teams do this all the time. Like right now, Daryl Morey, the president of basketball operations with the 76ers, is oh my God. I'm not going to share audio no more. So let's pause this. So where was I at? Oh yeah, coaches usually play ball with stuff like this because you want to get a jump on other teams to get players. So Daryl Morey right now, he's being investigated for supposedly tampering to bring James Harden to the 76ers. So teams do this all the time. It's not something that's foreign. They tamper all the time. Every single year, some team gets hit with tampering. It always happens. But Brian Flores was like, no, this is illegal. I'm not going to play ball. So when Stephen Ross saw that, it was pretty much curtains for Brian Flores because he didn't want to play the game. And this is the you have to go along to get along stuff right here. He said he was fired January 10th despite recording the Dolphins' first back-to-back winning seasons since 2003. Flores also alleged that the Giants interviewed him last month for their head coaching vacancy for no other reason than compliance with the NFL's Rooney Rule, which requires teams to interview minority candidates for their open positions. The league has amended that rule in recent years and now says teams must hold an in-person interview with at least one external minority candidate for any general manager or head coach opening. Now, the Rooney Rule is BS. y'all. It's BS. It's always been BS. Because all this does is it gets guys interviews. So take Eric Bieniemy, for example. Over the last 5 years, Eric Bieniemy has interviewed for 20 vacant coaching spots. He's been the hottest coordinator in the league for the last 2 years, 3 years. He's been calling plays for Patrick Mahomes. He's won a Super Bowl. What else does the man need to prove? You see it all the time. Teams get hot, and their coordinators and position coaches get a little bit of traction as far as getting better coaching jobs and getting a what's the word? Basically, getting an upgrade. Basically, you're getting hired to for a better job. So if you're an OC or a DC, they're looking at you as a coach. If you're a quarterback coach, a wide receiver coach, DB coach, they're looking at you as an OC or a DC. That's how it goes. Eric Bieniemy not getting a job after 5 years, 20 vacant positions, and countless interviews. There's a problem with the system. I saw a thing where it said if you flip a coin 500 times and 490 times it comes up heads or tails, there's a problem with the coin. And that's the Rooney rule. Because, okay, you did this to appease the crowd. That's what you did. You did this to appease the Black Lives Matter crowd. You did this to appease your minority candidates. You did this to appease the woke mob on Twitter. That's why they did these things, so they didn't look a certain way. But you can't get away from the truth. So, but matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all a quick clip. Let's get out of this, and I'm gonna show y'all a quick clip off of I've seen this on Twitter, and this will kind of sum up what I'm talking about right here. And this goes deep. This goes back to where black players were seen to not have the mental capacity to play quarterback. This started here. And then after they said that, oh, they can't play football, they can't play certain positions. Oh, you had good black quarterbacks. Then they told us we couldn't coach. You have good black coaches. And we're still fighting the same fight we fought years ago. But listen to this.
I mean, there are a lot of black players. There are a lot of great black baseball men who would dearly love to be in managerial positions. And I guess what I'm really asking you is to, peel it away a little bit. Just tell me, why do you think it is? Is there still that much prejudice in baseball today?
No, I don't believe it's prejudice. I truly believe that they may not have some of the necessities to be let's say, a field manager or perhaps a general manager.
Do you really believe that?
Well, I don't say that they're all.
Yes, he really does believe that. Yes, he does.
Of them, but they certainly are short. How many quarterbacks do you have? How many pitchers do you have that are black? It's same.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to tell you, that sounds like the same kind of garbage we were hearing 40 years ago about.
It's the exact same garbage from 40 years from that time. And this was I don't think this was 40 years ago, but it's the same garbage today. You see, nothing has changed.
Players when they were saying, not really cut out. You remember the days, they hit a black football player in the knees, and no, that really sounds like garbage. If you forget to say so.
It's not garbage, Mr. Koppel, because I played on a college team, and the center fielder was black, and then the backfield at NYU with a fullback who was black.
That's equivalent of, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I know black guys are great because I've known them. I played against them and I played with them. So I know they're great guys. I just don't think they're competent enough to lead. That's basically what he's saying.
Never knew the difference of whether he was black or white. We were teammates. So it just might be that why are black men or black people not good swimmers? Because they don't have the buoyancy.
That was racist. Oh my God. That I didn't see that last little part before this. I didn't know he said that. Wow. We don't have the buoyancy. No, we just don't like water, dude. Come on, man. I can swim. Oh man, do you have any more questions about what's going on and why this suit is? Or do you have any more questions? I mean, it's obvious now. The cat's out of the bag. because for the longest, you sat back and you played the game. That's what they told you to do. Sit back, play the game, do what you're supposed to do. Be a good boy. Do everything that's asked of you. And in the end, you will be rewarded with X, Y, and Z. And you're seeing that it's a rigged system. It's a system I can't beat because there's no people that look like me who are doing the hiring. That's a problem too. Shad Khan is the only minority owner. That's an issue because Jay-Z was trying to get a part of NFL ownership, and he caught a lot of flack for it in the way he went about it, but I understand what he was doing. He's trying to get a part of NFL ownership, so the thing that happened to Colin Kaepernick doesn't happen to athletes going forward. Stuff like this doesn't happen to head coaches like Brian Flores going forward, because we're not talking about guys who are losers. We're not talking about guys who don't know how to play the game, guys who don't have the mental capacity to coach. No, we're talking about a successful man. We're talking about successful men who are good at what they do. But for a myriad of reasons, and we can get into the reasons, they have not been chosen to do these jobs. And it's going on for a long time. Now, cat's out of the bag, dog. Sorry. It is what it is. But let's go back to this article. Let's see. Oh, I got to get back. There we go. Got my Twitter back. All right. So let's continue and finish this article. They say Flores alleged that he spoke with the Giants via Zoom on January 18th prior to the team hiring former Buffalo Bills assistant general manager Joe Schoen as his GM on January 23rd. He said that the next day, Schoen finalized his interview date for January 27th, and the Giants co-director of player personnel, Tim McDonald, texted Flores saying he hoped he would come in and win the effing job. They had already chosen who they wanted. That's hilarious. They had already chosen, and he knew they had already chosen who they wanted. That had to burn him up the whole interview because he had to sit there. He had to sit there and get the information he needed for this case. That had to burn him up. However, hours later, Flores' lawsuit alleged he received a series of text messages from Patriots coach Bill Belichick, under whom Flores worked for 10 years in New England. And in those texts, Bill Belichick told Flores he had heard from Buffalo and New York that you are their guy. He said Flores asked Belichick to clarify whether he meant to talk to him or Dable, who was also in the running for the Giants job. Belichick acknowledged his error and informed him that the Giants wanted Dable. He said, sorry, I effed this up. I double-checked and misread the text. I think they're naming Brian Dable. I'm sorry about that. Hey, I know Bill Belichick is not texting another soul. You better call him on the landline. He ain't using no technology no more. I personally, I think he did this on purpose, though. It just seems like a Bill Belichick thing because they tried to tarnish his legacy, and whether it was fair or not, with Deflategate and Spygate and all of that. So now Bill Belichick, this is the thing. When you vilify someone like the way they're vilifying John Gruden, come on, we know John Gruden ain't the only one with racist emails calling people Michelin Man tire lips and tar babies and all of that crap. We know that. We know they joking in those emails, talking crap about black people. That's why they don't want to release the emails. 650,000 emails and only John Gruden's get released. Come on, man. Come on, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if there's proof in those emails about stuff that about Brian Flores' case and about the practices with the Washington Redskins and their hiring practices. Oh, I'm sure. Well, not the Redskins no more. They're the Washington Commanders now, which, I mean, it's not a horrible name, but they could have did better than that. They would have been better off going Washington Red Tails or Washington Airmen or something like that, dude. Come on, the Commanders? No. You see, Flores alleges that a similar scenario occurred when he interviewed with the Broncos for their head coaching job in 2019. Flores says that the then Denver general manager, John Elway, among others, arrived to the interview an hour late and hungover, alleging they had been drinking heavily the night before. And this right here, so let me get big for y'all, man. This right here was hilarious because the Denver Bronco fans on Twitter pretty much confirmed this. They said that in In John Elway's defense, he was drunk for all his interviews. And then say that'll be a hell of a defense. But they say that this is supposedly a common thing. If fans know that he allegedly has been showing up to interviews drunk and it's something he's done, okay, if the fans know, people in the building is he above reproach? John Elway showing up to a meeting with a potential head coach an hour late, disheveled, and clearly looked like he was drinking, which is what Brian Flores said. That's unprofessional. If Brian Flores shows up an hour late, disheveled, looked like he was drinking, they can't. Matter of fact, after 10 minutes of him being late, they probably say, yo, sorry, we got to move on. He probably wouldn't even get there after drinking, but they get to show up drunk, acting the fool. Had looked like they've been out all night the night before that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. But anyway, the Giants and Dolphins and Broncos responded separately to the allegations Tuesday. The Giants said they were pleased and confident with their hiring process. We interviewed an impressive and diverse group of candidates, the team said. The fact of the matter is, Brian Flores was in the conversation to be our head coach until the 11th hour. Ultimately, we hired the individual we felt was most qualified to be our next head coach. The Dolphins vehemently denied the allegations against them while noting they are proud of diversity and inclusion throughout our organization. The implication that we acted in a manner inconsistent with the integrity of the game is incorrect. And the Broncos detailed their January 5th interview with Flores, saying it started promptly at 7:30 a.m. in Providence and lasted 3.5 hours and was conducted with 5 team executives. Pages of detailed notes, analysis, and evaluations from our interview demonstrate the depth of our conversation and sincere interest in Mr. Flores as a head coaching candidate, the team said. Our process was thorough and fair to determine the most qualified candidate for our head coaching position. The Broncos will vigorously defend the integrity and values of our organization and its employees from such baseless and disparaging claims. Denver ultimately hired Vic Fangio, and they just fired him not too long ago. In the lawsuit, Wigdor Law LLP, the firm representing Flores, said the coach hopes to shine a light on the racial injustices that take place inside the NFL. Among the areas Flores said he would like to see addressed: increase influence of Black individuals in hiring, increase the objectivity of hiring, terminating GMs, head coaches, and coordinators, increase the number of Black coordinators, incentivize hiring, retention of Black GMs, head coaches, and coordinators, transparency of pay for GMs, head coaches, and coordinators. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages from the NFL, which called claims without merit Tuesday. See, the NFL and our club are deeply committed to ensuring equitable employment practices and continue to make progress in providing equitable opportunities throughout our organizations. The league said in the statement, diversity is core to everything we do, and there are a few issues on which our clubs and internal leadership teams spend more time. We will defend against these claims, which are without merit. This is the problem I have with this right here. Broncos saying it's without merit. The NFL saying that these claims are without merit. These claims are not without merit. Brandon Lampley in Jacksonville, Florida, can see what's going on, and he's not in any NFL circles. So if I can see it here, you have to see it too. These claims are not without merit. This right here, and what they're going to do, and this is what they're going to do. Mike Florio, he gets a lot of crap, who's over Pro Football Focus, but he talked about it. He said that the NFL lawyers are ready, and they're about to throw everything they can at Brian Flores, and he has to be ready because they're going to do everything they can to defend this league and to continue to do what they've been doing, which is act like they care, but ultimately just give you an empty gesture and continue doing what they were doing. That's what this is about. And that right. And me and Mr. Reed, if you've never seen my sports show that I do Thursdays, it's either on Thursday or Friday. We'll do it in the evening around like 7:00. We talked about it, how the popularity of sports and sports in general has been on the decline. And it's been on the decline for a few years now. And it's a steady enough decline, and much of a decline to where you can see it. The issues with teams being able to fill up stadiums has been going on for a decade now because you can't beat the in-home experience. Then, let me get big. Then you add all the woke bullcrap politics. That's why when Laura Ingraham, she shouldn't have said it the way she said it, but I understood the way she said it when she said shut up and dribble. Because if we're being honest, that's what I want you to do. I didn't come here to listen to your politics. I came here to watch a game. I came here to watch your sport. I came here to watch a competition. I didn't come here for politics. I didn't. And so if they can continue on, that's why the WNBA is struggling now, because they're on the front line of the woke politic crap. It doesn't help their game because we're there to see basketball. And their product is subpar right now. And it's their fault. They don't market their stuff well. You see, what's good, B? What's going on, Ness? Man, Ness, this is like, this is amazing, man. This is amazing. And it's so funny. Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all, before we get in the rest of that article, let me show you real quick that I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I started on this path probably about 3 years ago, right after the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. And I started covering sports and talking about it more and more. Started on my podcast, just doing audio. And in that time, I came across so many stories, so many things, so many patterns, to the point where now I kind of get it. I see where things are going. And I talked about this same situation a year ago. So hold on. All right. Let's share. Let's do stop screen. And let's share this screen. Oh, for all my audio listeners, I am putting this on the podcast. So for my audio people, you can't see this, but you can hear it. I'm going to be uploading more to my audio platforms. All right, so here we go. Check this out. This is me a year ago. The Rooney rule, the one hire rule, and Eric Bieniemy is getting a bad rap, man. And this is the problem with the Rooney rule, the one hire rule, and it really serves no purpose because, yeah, they are going to just interview a minority candidate to fulfill that obligation that they have to do so. It doesn't mean they're going to hire him. So what ends up happening is a guy like Eric Bieniemy, a guy like Deuce Staley, a guy like Byron Leftwich, they will continue to interview year after year after year. And what happens is they say, okay, these guys are interviewing, but nobody's giving them a job. So something must be wrong with them. The blame is always going to go to the coach and not the organization, not the team. So that's one of the big problems, man. It's unfair for Eric Bieniemy to get this bad rap because they said he doesn't interview well. Really? The coaches that have been hired over the last week in their press conferences, you can't tell me they were much better. So you go check out that full show I did. I shared it on my Facebook, so you can go check out the full show and what I talked about there. Because I told you I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've been doing this for a minute now, and I see it. And see, yep, true as clouds in the sky. I am a witness. Yeah, Ness. Yeah, we know what the deal is, man. Yeah, that whole twice as hard for half as much. Yeah, that's a real thing. Work twice as hard to get half as much. You see, Flores, who turns 41 later this month, had been tied to head coaching vacancies with the Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, since inspiring by the Dolphins. New Orleans interviewed him for his head coaching vacancy Tuesday, according to ESPN's Mike Triplett. See, God has gifted me with a special talent to coach the game of football, but the need for change is bigger than my personal goals. He's saying the statement put out by the Wigner firm in making the decision to file the class action complaint today. I understand that I may be risking coaching the game that I love, that has done so much for me, for my family and me. Oh, you ain't risk it. You pretty much done. I don't see a team hiring him after this. I'll be very shocked to get a coaching job after this. My sincere hope is that by standing up against systemic racism in the NFL, Others will join me to ensure that positive change is made for generations to come. Douglas Wigdor, a lawyer for Flores, told the New York Times that Wigdor Law LLP is looking into allegations from other coaches who could be part of the class action suit. He noted that Flores reached out to the firm on the same day he received the Belichick text messages. So this has been going on, man. They say, yeah, Brian Flores' trust was lost with Miami Dolphins after $100,000 per loss tanking offer from the owner. And now come to find out, the Browns did the same thing with Hugh Jackson in 2016. They'd offered him money to tank games. They offered Brian Flores money to tank games. That's where we are. So now all of it's going to come out now. Everything's going to come out now. From the guy like David Culley has a case, the Houston Texas coach. Because why did they hire David Culley? They hired him basically to fire him. He had nothing. You gave that man nothing. You gave him chickens and expected him to make chicken salad. You gave him nothing. Look at Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio never got a quarterback in Denver. That's been Denver's issue. For 45 years, the Denver Broncos didn't have a losing season. They've lost the last 5 years straight. And it's because they don't have a quarterback. And they expected Vic Fangio to fix this mess without a quarterback. Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater. That's what you gave me? You expect me to win with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. You have the defense, dude, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Melvin Ingram. Was it the kid? Was it Javonte Williams, the running back? Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain Jr., Bradley Chubb. Do I have to go on? The Broncos have an excellent roster. They don't have a quarterback. And Fangio got fired. Same with Steve Wilkes in Arizona. Steve Wilkes got 1 year. He was given Josh Rosen, a rookie quarterback, and got fired. They fired him, brought on Cliff Kingsbury with another rookie quarterback, Kyler Murray, who went 5-10-1, and they didn't fire him. They gave him time to improve. So that's just a few. That's just a few. Let's talk about those lifelong coordinators who's never got a job. Eric Bieniemy got a case. It's clear. Eric Bieniemy should be on this too. But if Eric Bieniemy, I will say that for the guys who want to continue to coach in the league in some capacity, I will stay away from it. Because once you're a part of this suit, you're going to be ostracized and they're going to blackball you from the league. The only thing you're going to be able to do is coach college and high school football. The NFL won't have you a part of the league after you sued them. That's like after Colin Kaepernick sued him, I was like, ain't nobody picking him up. Dude, he sued the league. It's over. They paid him they're going to give you a pittance because they make billions of dollars a year. So the only thing you're going to get is a pittance compared to their overall worth. And they're going to say, hey, all right, yeah, take that on. Go on somewhere with that. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to get pressure from the NFL, the NBA, MLB, NHL, and all the other leagues to do that. To basically telling them, hey, you need to settle this. This got to go away. It has to go away. Because every league has shady hiring practices. Every corporation has shady hiring practices. Think about it. Morality holds a lot of people back. When you think about it, morality doesn't get the job done today. Go look at any successful corporation, company, anything like that. Let the people who come in do the checks and balances and look and see the books and how they operated and done their business. And there's violations all over the place. And that's how they got to where they were, because they cut corners a lot of times. It's just what it is. It's how it goes. NFL's no different. But they're going to pay. Now, what they're going to pay, it's not going to bankrupt them. They're still going to be popular. They're still going to be the top sport in the world. They're still going to get the most views. This is going to be a chink in the armor, though. And they have to rectify this. Because black coaches, this black coaches stuff, this could capsize them, but it won't, because they're going to pay for it to go away. What they can't fight and what they can't beat is if the players mobilize. If the players say enough is enough and they decide not to play, nobody's going to watch white dudes hit each other. Sorry, it's not happening. Without us, there's no game. That's basketball too. So if the players decide that they don't want to deal with this anymore, they're sick of it, you're going to have to change. But I understand players. You got a bunch of young guys. They just trying to make their money. They trying to stay in the league. You know, everybody doesn't make millions of dollars in professional sports. It's just what it is. So you're not going to be able to get everybody on the same page, because guys are like, yo, me and my family got to eat. I'm sorry. I want to help you out. Social justice, all of this. I'm with you. I want it. But because I got to feed my family, I can't be a part of this. So that's why the players, now you can get enough of them. If you can get enough of them, yeah, but it's going to be very hard to do so. The coaches already are ready, because they're like, I'm not going to get the opportunity I want anyway. So since I'm not going to get the opportunity I want anyway, who cares about me potentially not coaching anymore, because they're seeing dead set on not giving me another head coaching spot anyway. So yeah, let me go ahead and shine a light on the problems that we've been going through for decades now. Decades. So the clip I showed you earlier, for those who just watching, go back when you're watching the replay, go back or watch me now, go back and watch the replay and watch the clip I played earlier. And you can't tell me men like that aren't sitting in NFL offices making decisions, because they are. Guys who think black people don't have the mental capacity to lead, they're in NFL offices right now. It is what it is. But so what Ness say? Wow. Hey, Ness, it is what it is, Ness. It is what it is. But you know, as a player, as a coach, I mean, what really can you do? If we're being honest, what really can you do? Flores found, if Flores didn't get the text message from Bill Belichick, none of this probably comes out, because he doesn't have enough, you know. But after Bill Belichick basically mistakenly told him that the other guy, Brian Dable, got the job and not him, and he hadn't interviewed yet, then he had something. You say this has to be and a need to be exposed, period. Yeah, it does. It does need to be exposed. Yeah, it does need to be exposed. Oh, and let's not to mention a certain local radio station here in Jacksonville, which will remain nameless. For those who are in Jacksonville, they know exactly what station I'm talking about. They're awful. People don't listen in the city. Don't listen to them like they used to. They still get listened to, but they're awful. I was listening to them the other day talking about Trevor Lawrence, and I had to cut it off. It's awful. But they talked about this, and basically they chalked up to Brian Flores being upset that he didn't get a job. So Brian Flores is so pissed off that he didn't get a job that he want to expose racism in the NFL. Well, I didn't get a job. You guys are racist. And it's like that, like they said, they tried to say that it's without merit. And that's basically what they're saying. They're saying what the league is saying, and the Broncos are saying that is, oh, well, Brian Flores, it's without merit, you know, and he's just upset he didn't get a job, you know, this will go away. No, it ain't going away. Let's see. So where we are. Let's see. I want to show you guys this thread. Lady, she broke it down. Okay, there she goes. So Maddie Hadak, she talked about, she basically broke it down. So notable statistics say NFL players are 70% black. Many desire post-playing coaching careers or management positions of 32 teams, white-owned. One head coach. This is the black black players and coaches in the league. One head coach, 4 offensive coordinators, 11 defensive coordinators, 8 special teams coordinators, 3 QB coaches, 6 general managers. Wow. That's one team worth of coaches. One team worth of coaches. All those coaches could be take positions and all coach on one team. That's how many black coaches that are in the NFL. They can all be coaching for one team. That's a problem. Let's see. It was one more. Okay. Allegations against the Miami Dolphins. We talked about this. Fired after back-to-back winning seasons. First since 2003. Refused to directive to tank for the number 1 pick in the 2019 draft. The owner offered him $100K for every game he lost. GM told Flores The owner was mad. Success was compromising draft position. Alleges violations of the tampering rules, recruiting a prominent quarterback following the 2019 season. I wonder what prominent quarterback that was. We're going to find out soon enough what prominent quarterback that was that they were trying to recruit and they set up a meeting with, and it was basically tampering. And excuse me, Brian Flores said, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. Let's see. Overperformed after refusal, led the team to non-predicted winning records 2 consecutive seasons, and was then fired. So let's see. Denver Broncos, scheduled an interview in 2019. Then GM John Elway, President Ellis, and others showed up an hour late. Alleged looked disheveled and implied drinking the night before, clearly only to satisfy the Rooney Rule. Vic Fangio shortly hired thereafter. Yeah, it was obvious. So he's been through this. So Brian Flores has been through this. He's been through this a few times. This is not something he came up with overnight or just after the Bill Belichick text message basically telling him that they're only interviewing you to satisfy a rule. You're not going to get a job. He's been through this. He's been through this at other stops, and he's seen what it is. They did the same thing happened to him with the Broncos, where they basically showed up an hour late, was like, oh, yeah. I don't know how professional they were, but then shortly after they hired Vic Fangio. You already had Vic Fangio in the bag. That's why I talk about quarterback competitions. Just like head coaching searches, quarterback competitions. Quarterback competitions aren't real. They're not. When you got two quarterbacks and they're like, they don't know who's going to start and they're going to compete, it's not a real competition. The team and the coach already knows who's going to start. They have them penciled in. And what's happening is that they're allowing the other quarterback to show that he's better. But most times, they already got their pick and who they want. And it's going to take a monumental effort from the guy who isn't the guy who they want to start to beat out who they want to start. That's why quarterback competitions are a farce. That's why this is a farce, because they already know who they already know their guy. They already know who they have. And now I have to go through these interviews and look incompetent because I'm not getting a job after interview after interview after interview. Why is nobody hiring you, Eric Bieniemy? Something's wrong. You have an issue. You can't lead. You don't have the mental capacity. You interview terribly. You're not a good coach. Doesn't matter whether they said those things or not, because obviously they don't want the man. They say, I applaud Flores for having the courage to expose this infamy in the NFL. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he like he said he was blessed with a gift to coach, and that's what he wants to do. And now he jeopardizes all of that by doing what's right. By basically saying, because he could have sat on this. This is the thing. Brian Flores could have sat on this. Could have sat on it and just went on about his business and was like, you know what? That's just part of the game. Chalk it up, dust it up, walk it off. That's how men are. Men rarely do things like this because it's kind of just like, that's life for us. Rejection is a part of the game. That's part of being a man. Women all day, as soon as something doesn't suit them, they're up in arms about it. Dude, just look at men and women dynamics. Anywhere where men have the advantage, women like, hey, why y'all got such an advantage over there? I want to know why. Why I can't be over there in this space? What's this over here? This isn't suited for me. That is, men don't do that. Not one time have a man ever walked in Victoria's Secret and was like, you know what? There's no male representation here. I don't feel comfortable here. It's too pink in here. Can I get some blue in here? Can I get some Prince assless chaps in here for men? Can I get that? No, we don't do that. So he could have easily sat on this and not did anything, but he didn't. He moved forward. He was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't sit on this. This is too much. This is a smoking gun. I have to do it. And he saw the writing on the wall. If he didn't get a head coaching job this cycle, he probably wouldn't have got one going forward. It is what it is. Say real talk, B. Oh, for sure. Oh, Nels, we talk about that all the time, man. Inclusion is what they want, is what they call it. They want inclusion. So let's finish this tweet up and then we'll get up out of here. Let's see. Jim Caldwell. So Jim Caldwell got a case. He had a 56% record, best winning percentage of any Lions head coach since the 1950s, 2 playoff berths in 4 seasons, one in the previous 14 seasons, 17-46 since his departure, only white head coaches, no playoff appearances, has not received further opportunities in more than 3 years. And he's just resurfaced with the Jaguars and interviewing with them, and I hope he gets a job here. Jim Caldwell is a good coach. I want him in any capacity, whether it's front office or coaching. Jim Caldwell should be a part of the organization. Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks went 3-13 in 2018. First season, no time to develop team/culture. Stuck with the burden of a rookie quarterback, Rosen. GM Keim suspended 5 weeks for DUI. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Keim was drinking. Keim retained, kept his job, and Wilks got fired. Hired Cliff Kingsbury. He went 5-10 with the rookie QB and retained the job and given time to improve. Yeah. David Culley was never hired as an OC at DC, but hired as the Texas head coach in 2021 in the widely considered most difficult situation for first-year head coach in memory. Yes, forced to start third-round rookie Davis Mills, lost J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins in recent years, and Deshaun Watson. Dude, David Culley walked into a cluster F, a SHIT show. That's what he walked into. And from a first-year coach with a horrible team, I like what I saw from him. I like what I saw from David Mills. You see, he managed to coach the team to the same record as previous season, despite conditions. Immediately fired after the season for vague philosophical differences. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You see, Terrell Austin. They got Eric Bieniemy. I mean, this thing goes on and on and on. Look her up. She's on Twitter. Maddie Hadak. She does a real good breakdown of this suit and how these guys have a case. It's going to be a few coaches on this. It's going to be a class action suit, and it's not going away anytime soon. This is going to be a stain on the NFL, just like Spygate, just like Deflategate, just like the Saints that were paying players to injure other players. You name it. Any scandal that they've been in, anything that's given the NFL a bad look, this does too. This gives them the ultimate black eye because you've preached bull crap for so long. It's like prosperity preachers, those people who sell hope. You're selling hopium to people. That's what you're selling. And when you sell hope, it doesn't accomplish anything. There's nothing tangible to help people get the things done they're trying to get done or achieve the goals they're trying to achieve. You're just selling hope, and they're getting high off the hope. And that's all you're doing. That's what prosperity preaching is what it is. They're doing this to basically shut you up. Brian Flores said he had enough. Hugh Jackson says he had enough. And you're going to see other coaches come forward, other minorities come forward, guys who didn't feel like they got a fair shot, guys who had got an interview, and then the next day or a few hours later, they found out they hired somebody else. You better believe they made that decision before they hired you. And so now everything comes out now. It all comes full circle, man. It is what it is, man. But let's take the Jaguars, for example. Right now, the Jaguars have shown us that they're incompetent at the top. That's why we are in the situation we're in. It's because there's incompetence at the top. It starts with the owner, Shad Khan, and it goes down. For whatever reason, he has an attachment to Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke does not have a good reputation in the NFL. Nobody wants to work with him. Nathaniel Hackett didn't want to work with him. Eberflus supposedly didn't want to work with him. Doug Peterson doesn't want to work with him. Byron Leftwich doesn't want to work with him. Jim Harbaugh, who just took the Minnesota Vikings job, him and Balky fell out when he was in San Francisco, doesn't want to work with him. He has a terrible reputation around the NFL. And every year he's been in the league, for the last 5 years that he's been in the league, they show his record and how every coach was fired. It was a losing record, 6 seasons, losing record in all 6. The head coach at that time was fired after every single one of them. So why is Trent Baalke getting the benefit of the doubt? Why? He has no track record of success. Why? He has no track record of working well with others. Why? Can you tell me why? You know why. See, so why the hell is he still here? We know why, Ness. We know why Baalke's still here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if Baalke was, let's say if Baalke, like Adrian Wilson, Byron Leftwich wants Adrian Wilson here. Wants him to come here and be the GM. So let's say this was Adrian Wilson and not Trent Baalke. You think Adrian Wilson will still be here with that reputation and that horrible track record? No, he'd be gone. He'd be fired years ago. So it is what it is, man. But you know what? All I can say is that I hope the NFL does a real change after this and don't put a Band-Aid on it, or basically put lipstick on a pig is basically what they do. Hopefully they really rectify the situation. Hopefully so. But man, hey, it is what it is. But for Thursday, I'll be back. No, Friday. Me and Mr. Reed gonna do a show Friday. If you don't know, I'll do a show on Thursday. It's either Thursday or Friday. Me and Mr. John Reed. He's a journalist for the Florida Times Union, and he covers the Jaguars. So he's at the practices. He's at the press conferences, and pretty much he's in the NFL circles. Me and him do a show on Thursdays at Thursday or Friday. Well, this show will be Friday at 8 o'clock. Friday at 8 o'clock, we're going to do a show. We're going to continue to expound on the Jaguars coaching search, talk about the incompetence, because he got a call during the show last week. We were doing the show last week, and he got a call about some news about the Jaguars, and came back and told us that there wouldn't be a hiring last week. And so that's the call he got. So, man, this is a man who's well connected within NFL circles, and he drops the knowledge on us. So join us Friday night for that, because we want to talk more about this. He's been doing it for 34 years, NFL, NBA, MLB, World Series, NBA Finals, Super Bowls. He's covered them all. So he's seen it all. So he's going to be able to give a perspective that I can't give. So join me Friday night for that show, man, because it's going to be a bomb burner. It's going to be really good. You see, did you know that Leftwich and Wilson were on the Cons boat over the weekend? Could be that a deal is done, but they're just keeping it quiet? Well, one of the things they said before they hire Wilson is that you have to satisfy the Rooney rule, which is what we just talked about. So they have to interview another minority GM candidate before they can finalize any deal with any GM, even if it's Adrian Wilson. So maybe that is the case. Byron has been adamant on not working with Trent Baalke, so I don't know how that's going to work. Rick Spielman has been he's interviewed with the Jaguars, I guess, had a meeting with them. So let's say we don't get Byron and Adrian Wilson, who I would like. That's my first choice. I would not be upset with Rick Spielman and Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach who I think kind of got a raw deal in Philly, and Rick Spielman, who built the Vikings. The Vikings have had one of the best rosters for the last 5 to 6 years. One of the reasons they haven't won anything is because quarterback play. Kirk Cousins isn't the guy. Case Keenum wasn't the guy. Teddy Bridgewater, they just hadn't had the quarterback. But the rosters are absolutely stacked. You look at the Vikings team now, and they have a really good team, and he built that team. So I got no issue with a coach that can coach, who won championships, and a guy I know who can build a team. So I have no issue with that, but we'll see. But if Peterson and Spielman comes here, they say Baalke will retain his position. He'll just most likely have to answer to Spielman. And I wouldn't be so upset with that, because he'll have to answer to Spielman, and he doesn't have total power. So I still want him to go. Just bad juju having him in the building. But if they're going to do it like that, then I have no issue with that. So we'll see. We'll see. But Byron and Adrian Wilson will be it'll be a coup for the Jaguars, man. That'll be big for them because Byron has already showed you that he's not with the BS. Byron has the Jaguars' best interest, and he wants to set himself up to have success, not just next year, the year after that, but 10 years, 20 years down the line. And in order to do that, he got to have it his way. You got to give it to him his way. Now, if he shows you that he's incapable or he doesn't do a good job in this area, then you could always take responsibilities away. Like Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin's a great coach. He's not a good GM. So he was stripped of those responsibilities when he was here in Jacksonville. He just continued to coach. So whatever power Byron wants, once you see that, okay, well, you're not good at this, you can strip him of that power because he could be a great coach. There's not other parts of it, whether talent evaluation or picking players or whatever it is. Whatever power he's looking for, you can strip him of it if you find out he's not good. Because him coaching football, I don't think that's going to be an issue. See, them being on his boat with him has me believing that a deal is done. They're keeping quiet until the process is complete. Yeah, I can see it. I would believe that if they hadn't requested to interview Kevin O'Connell, though, Ness, the OC for the Rams, they said that they couldn't. They requested to interview him, but they couldn't because they billed him as a top candidate and one of their favorite candidates, right? And they're like, well, if he's one of your favorite candidates and he's somebody who you always wanted, you didn't request to interview him in the first round of interviews in that 2-week window that you had. Why didn't you request to interview him then? Because he wasn't on the list. That's a lie. That's another lie. Jaguars, from top to bottom, it's been incompetence. And now with Brian Flores coming out with this, I wouldn't be surprised if players who former players, especially around the team, talk about their time here and what they dealt with. Because I've heard some whispers about what it's like in that building with the Jaguars. And it's not the quote unquote diverse place that people think it is. Because, dude, let's be honest, we're still in Jacksonville, Florida. This is a military, good old boy town. It is. Always has been. And you got a lot of people, dude. I've seen some of the comments on Byron and Byron being a coach here. Some of it's disgusting. I'm not gonna highlight it, but just go on any spaces where they talk Jaguars football and talk about Byron, and you'll see some disgusting remarks. But that's just people, and it is what it is. But I hope Byron gets the job. And if not Byron and Adrian Wilson, I hope that Doug Peterson and Rick Spielman can come in here and rectify this. One thing Shad Khan needs to do never again is be the head of this process. He's the owner, so he needs to be a part of it, but he needs somebody else doing this because he doesn't know what he's doing. Shad Khan is not a football guy. He's a football fan, and he's running the team like he's playing Madden, and that doesn't work in real life. You see, that's the part of the process to me that throw another bone at the media. Just think we're being discussed like never before. Oh, man, if you want to talk about moving the needle, soap opera, attention, whatever, Jaguars have been in the news cycle for a minute now. Their popularity is probably higher than it's ever been because of incompetence. Because all press is good press, regardless of why people come in there. Like, doesn't matter. All press is good press. Like, I had a situation where I had a lady on one of my shows and a guy that she used to deal with or had an issue with messaged me and told me to take her off of my show and to take my show down and delete video because she was about to be exposed. And I'm like, exposed? I never responded to him. I talked to her because I knew her. I didn't know him. And, she told me, oh, he's just upset. He ain't got nothing on me, blah, blah, blah. But I told her, I said, and I told my people, I say, one thing he doesn't understand about Brandon is that even if let's say she's getting arrested or busted for something heinous, like she, committed a murder or she was moving packs on the border to Julio and Enrique or something like that. That helps me Because soon as her name goes viral for whatever she did, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, she was on this guy's show, and that brings attention to me. All press is good press. So the Jaguars right now are in the spotlight right now. Can they capitalize on this right here? Because if you make the right hire now, you can capitalize off of this. And then you go into next season with momentum. Trevor takes the next step and you're better than you were and you get on the right path. Yeah, popularity is at an all-time high. But I'm not confident that they're going to get this right and use this to boost the Jaguars. I'm not confident. Nobody's confident. Dude, I seen I forgot, I think it's Mark Heilman. He said Shad Khan woke up today and saw his shadow. So that means we're gonna have 6 more weeks of no head coach. Just saying, man, the incompetence is it knows no bounds at this point, man. But man, I've been doing this for an hour. I did not know I was in here for an hour. I had to get this off my chest. I had to do this show. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Friday, telling y'all, Friday, man, come check us out. Friday, 8 o'clock. Mr. Reed will be in the building, and we're going to be talking football. We're going to talk some basketball, too. Talked a little baseball last week, especially about Barry Bonds not getting in the Hall of Fame and how it's a travesty. And him, Mark McGwire, Sosa, Clemens, Pete Rose, whoever they've ostracized from the Hall of Fame, they need to put them in. And I say this because you don't know who was doing what. You have proof that these guys did whatever, but you don't have proof that the other guys who played alongside them did the same things. And you better believe that other guys who played with them was doing the exact same thing. So a lot of them just didn't get caught. So, but we're going to discuss more of that Friday. I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all tune in for that. But until next time, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, IG, TikTok. I'm going to upload this to my audio. So like Spotify, I'm on Spotify, Apple, the iTunes, whatever, Apple Podcasts, whatever, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Anchor, you name it. I'm on those. I'm going to upload this there and I'm going to put more stuff there as well. But until next time, man, see y'all Friday, 8 o'clock. Don't be late. I appreciate y'all.